there's all this corrosion that will build up, and I've scrubbed this out. So that pops right in there. Boom. Works great. Help, Will. I have a problem. My Nintendo 64. It's old. It's beat up. I bought it at a garage sale. I don't know if it works. How do I test it? How do I repair it? The buttons are stuck. It's dirty. It's nasty. I don't know if there's cockroaches living in there. I don't know if there's spider nest in there. How do I fix this thing? How do I restore this thing? Well, today's your lucky day if you have any of those questions, because we're about to dive right into those things. Let's go. All right, you guys, so we got the Nintendo 64 all hooked up here. Let's see if it works. It's not looking good so far. All right, well, let's do this. Half the time it can just be the game too. Blow that out. Blow that out. Still not working. This is one of my secret weapons. I'll tell you about this in a little bit. Blow that out. Still not working. So if it's not working, you can go ahead and get a little flathead screwdriver. Softly here and carefully pry up the jumper pack. Just like that. And clean off this connection and that connection down there. So let's do that right now. Okay, so to be able to clean this off, we want to get some rubbing alcohol. Some Q-tips is what I use. And we're just going to come in here and clean off these connections here. Make sure it's making a good connection. We'll get down in here as well. Best of our ability. There. Okay, so now we've cleaned both of the connections. We'll go ahead and reinstall this. Put the game back in. Turn it on. Of course, we got power because the light's on. Still not working. Let's do one more thing here. Before we take it all apart, I'm gonna take it apart, okay? I wanna refurbish this thing. I wanna show you how to clean it all. A lot of times it's just the game too. So let's do that same thing. If you have an extra game that you know that works, throw that in there. You don't even have to clean this one. And if it turns on with the other game, then you know more than likely this game is corroded on the inside here. This is the quick way to do this. You can also take this apart with a Gamebit driver and get on the inside here and really clean meticulously. But for right now, I just want to go over each side of these connections here, these pins. Get down into here too. Let's see if it's the game. This sometimes works. Okay, still not working. Let's give it one more go. As I'm suspecting, as I'm looking at this, I'm seeing some corrosion. Look at that. No controller. Let's put a controller in. Let's see if reset works. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. It's working. Pull this out. Put it back in. It's working. Okay, so right there, we have a fixed Nintendo 64. And it wasn't even the Nintendo 64, just the game that happened to come with it is not working. So sometimes it's just as easy as cleaning this cartridge out. So the next part is that we're going to be taking this apart and refurbishing it and cleaning it out. I've seen some nasty stuff inside of these, so let's see what's in this one. Alright you guys, so before we dive into taking this thing apart, I'm going to quickly, briefly walk you through some of the supplies and the setup I have for refurbishing these different Nintendo 64s, controllers, laptops, whatever electronics you work on. This will help you out with all of it, but specifically Nintendo 64. So diving into the first and most important, you need some kind of Gamebit driver. And these right here you can order for cheap off of Amazon. I'll have links to all this in the description below for your convenience. But you cannot get into the Nintendo 64 and start refurbishing and cleaning it up without the Gamebit driver. They are included in these big sets as well. So if you go and you want something a little bit more serious, if you're going to be doing this more, maybe you're flipping these, maybe you're fixing them and reselling them online, invest in a kit like this. I'm telling you, it's a lifesaver, especially if you work on other electronics. And these are always getting lost. I've had numerous different pairs of these. I just had to order more because I couldn't find these because of always losing them when they're separate like this. But when you get a kit like this, I'm telling you, this is all organized. It's nice. It's got everything you could want. Look at this. Multiple different sets of different bits in here, all kinds of pry tools, of course your drivers on each side, and some more stuff on the right side here. So it's just a suggestion to be able to make your life easier. On the note of making your life easier, this right here is awesome. So I used a lot of compressed air in the past in those little cans. Cost me a bunch of money. It would run out all the time. It was just annoying. It was frustrating to work with them. This is the solution to that, and this is an air duster. And so what it is just a tiny little battery operated, so you charge it with like a C cord to a USB. So basically your phone charger, you just charge this thing up, and then you have a little dial on the side where you can make it blow really hard and intense, or soft, or somewhere in between. It's got all kinds of little tips to be able to play with the direction of air and the intensity of air. Comes with all kinds of little brushes like this in a bag, and these things are just great for cleaning. You can connect this. This is what's great. Look at this. You can connect this so you can brush all that dust and blow it at the same time. It makes life so much easier. So I had to put that in this video and explain that to you guys. Super great tool to have. All right, so diving into the cleaning stuff, I would say get yourself some Dawn dish soap. You probably already have it in your home. Most of the stuff you will, but this will help you efficiently refurbish and clean this thing. A lot of the times you don't need any of the more intense cleaners. You just need some Dawn dish soap. And of course, some scrub brushes to be able to scrub up the console and get it nice and clean. We got a magic eraser in here. A lot of people swear by the magic eraser as far as for cleaning. And on that note, we also have some Goo Gone. Great, great, great thing for those really nasty, thick, syrupy, weird, I don't know what the heck you spilt on this Nintendo 64 at 3 a.m. in the morning while you're playing games kind of scenario. You saw me use them earlier, and that's some Q-tips, self-explanatory. Of course, a little toothbrush that gets into all the little nooks and crannies and helps you scrub, and some rubbing alcohol. I was using that earlier as well. Get yourself a nice bin like this that you can easily fit the Nintendo 64 in there once you've taken all the electronics out of it, of course. So the shell of the Nintendo 64, you set it in there, you let it soak with some Dawn, gets the job done. Last but not least, getting yourself an anti-static mat to work on, or a wristband for whenever you're working on technology. It's always a good idea. I don't want to sit around and talk about this anymore, so let's dive right in. If you guys are interested in any of this, I got links in the description below, and hopefully this helps you out. So let's get into this. Let's go. Okay, so first thing we want to do is remove this, put everything to the side. I think I got a flathead right here still. Pull this guy out. Go ahead and flip it on its back. And you have the screws. Want to keep track of all your screws the best of your ability. All right. So that right there is off. And you guys, it looks pretty awesome in here. Like, majority of these are really just dirty and nasty, and this one looks really clean. So that is a blessing. It's actually not going to be too much cleaning for us. But inside of here you have numerous different screws all through here, and you want to keep track of them. So a good thing to do at this point is to take a picture. And if you have it, to go ahead and buy or create something to hold screws and keep track of them. So let me show you what I have to keep track of this. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna utilize, and this is not the best setup at all. But if you don't have one of those dividers that you can put all your screws in, this works. So if you look at this, I've just kind of punctured holes where all these screws would go, and kind of wrote, you know, back, front, right, left, help me keep track of them. So as I take these out, I'm gonna be putting those screws into this cardboard. Something I do wanna show you guys real fast is right here. To take these off, you can see all this is for the off and on switch and the reset switch. You have just these little tabs, and you just squeeze these in and you push it out like that, so it's past those little tabs, and then these things pop right out here. And that is how you would fix it if there was a bunch of goop and gunk inside of there that was making this button stick. It's super easy. Just pop it out, clean up in there, clean around there, and you're good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and we'll take those off as well. We're getting everything ready to wash. Come on. There we go. Okay, we're gonna take that off, and then grab yourself a Phillips. We'll do it in this one. And then you can see these are pretty self-explanatory right here. And you just want to pop these out. Pop that out. There we go. And then that will be ready. Alrighty, let's get to it. So this is the power port right here. It's gonna be right there. Take that one out. This is the AV port, audio visual. Go ahead and take those out. Keep track of all these screws. I'm going ahead and taking these out, and then right here as well, these two, and that guy. This right here is just a heat sink on top of here. It is dusty in here, as you can see. See all that dust? So I don't mind taking things all the way apart, but a lot of times you don't need to take everything apart, just enough to be able to get electronics out of here. And these little guys right here need to come out as well. They're a lot longer than you would think. Right there. And then these two right here. Just like that. So you can feel it's trying to come out now, so I just grab the last, I believe it was this one. There we go. There we go. So don't forget about these little guys. This goes right there. This goes right here. Okay. So as you can see, this one is very clean. It looks really nice. So I won't spend a lot of time because it is so clean looking over the circuit board here, but it is very clean and all the solder spots look good, and I already know the system works. So I don't think I even need to really take this all the way apart. You can take all of these screws out here and remove this heat sink and get underneath here and check all the chips and check everything and make sure everything's good to go. I know it's all working, so I'm just gonna clean all this really well and scrub the inside and outside of the N64. This is the bottom plate. Pull that out. Pull this guy out. Let's pop this out. It's the light right there. Okay, so this is where you're going to take these two pieces right here, and at this point you can put them with the little buttons inside your bin and start to soak it. You can wash it off first if you want, just give it a rinse and then soak it with your Dawn dish soap and then just scrub those pieces. So we're going to get that started right now. So now that we got all that off, you can see the screws that were holding it into place. You don't have to take those off to be able to get this out. It's just these ones. All the little air vents. Okay, then if you kind of just put it together, hopefully I got enough water in here, kind of just put it together like that, and then just submerge it underneath here. Get all that out. There we go. And I'm just gonna let that soak like that for a while we clean up the board, the main board. Okay, then moving forward to this board, I'm just gonna dust it off. It doesn't need a whole lot of cleaning. Like I said, it's really actually pretty darn clean. But if you needed to, let's say there was some water damage or some soda spilt in here or something like that, and you just had like a real crusty, nasty, sticky area where you needed to clean this board, you could take like the brush and like a little bit of alcohol and just kind of scrub this out and clean it off pretty well. But what I'm going to do, because it is so clean already, is just dust it really well for the most part. There's one spot right here. We can see a little bit of corrosion, so I'm gonna go ahead and scrub that off. So I'm just gonna take some of this rubbing alcohol, just clean up any corrosion. Okay, this is looking like a good solid N64, and we're just about ready to reassemble it. Everything's been cleaned up. We're ready to go. So in a minute here, we'll get reassembling. So this has all been washed. As you can see, it's drying. Here's another use for this guy. Just turn it on and blow off this water, dry it real quick. It's a little too strong, turn it down a little. It's really great because it's always a pain in the butt when you're trying to move quick and you're dry in these little crevices. The other thing you can get is a hairdryer too, but this is just so small, compact, and easy to use, on the go, all of it. Come in here and just wipe it off. Now you can see there is a few scratches and stuff like that, but the thing looks so much better now. It's amazing what happens when you take it out and wash it. The plastic feels nice now. A lot of times it has like that kind of oily feel on there, like a dusty, oily, grimy kind of feel. This feels really good now. Now that we got it to this point, we can start the process of reassembling everything and getting it back in order. These back on. Just like that. Now that goes like that. So what we want to do is start putting this all back together. I want to make sure this board is lined up perfect. This. You don't have to cinch them down, just tighten it up a little bit and then go back through and cinch them down a little tighter if you need be. So this is what's great about this kit, is this screwdriver head. It's a little too big for these little guys, but that fits just right. So I'm not tightening it down all the way, just so it hits the bottom there a little bit, and then I'm gonna let it sit. That way I don't twist the board any and cross thread anything, and you kind of go back and tighten everything up. I'm going to go back through and just kind of torque these down ever so lightly. Just torque these down. Very careful on this. Overdo it. Make sure everything's flush, feels good, looks good. Nothing's rattling, nothing's loose. We're getting there, you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna stick this on here. And so with this, here's a little secret: is you got to make sure you line up the power button with the power switch. So if this is off, I want this not to be on, I want it to be off. So that pops right in there. Just gonna line that up. Check the seams, check everything. Feels good, looks good. Now before you get to this point, you can test it, but since this thing was running good, I'm just gonna put it back together and then test it. I'm shooting a video too, but it would be wise to plug it in at this point and verify that everything's working before taking the extra time to put it back together here. And if it feels like it's catching or it's not straight, don't force it. Just baby it, pull it back out, reline it up. Okay, and then we gotta remember these guys go on here. That goes in there. Pattern. All right, so now we put the jumper pack back in. Wow, look at that, you guys. It's beautiful. Some light scratching right here, but I mean, it just looks, it looks so nice. There was a whole bunch of dust and stuff inside of there. Now it's all clean. Much better. So let's go ahead and let's test this and verify that everything went back together nice and smooth. And then, yeah, let's call it. All right, everybody, moment of truth. Will it work? Look at that. Let's test the sound real fast. Boom. Works great. Looks so much better. Super happy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and it helped you out. If so, leave some comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you next time on Solutions, where I'm just tackling problems and trying to help people out. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.